Hey guys, how you doing? I'm the Glam Guru, and today we're gonna do something a little different. It's called a hammock tent. There are so many of these out there. I mean, look at this lady in this one. Oh, there she is. Oh, so serene. Other ones like this one from Haven, which looks pretty comfortable. Or it could be this guy who's just showing off his tent hammock hanging off a car. But in the end, I did the Lawson's tent hammock, which seems to be trusted by all these experts, which is like the opposite of like Ray's famous pizza, which they swear is the best pizza in New York. It's not. Wow. Okay, back to Lawson's tent hammock. And here we are opening this guy up for the first time. And it's really got very little in the bag. And that was the directions and this little sticker. Woo, I got a sticker. Oh, it's a sticker. The directions are pretty straightforward, to be honest. So I just went straight into it. And beyond the main tent, you just have the fly and you have some poles. I mean, you're cutting out all the other stuff at this point because you're hanging a tent, people. So here it is, the one thing you're gonna hang. Here's the front. And guess what? Here's the back. Pretty easy, right? I mean, it's got mesh. It doesn't have mesh. Okay, here we go. And here's the hardest part, where to hang it. Oh, look, 2 trees. Perfect. Oh my God, how did that happen? Then you're gonna connect these 2 poles on each side, and honestly, if I could do it, you can definitely do it. And just get this, make sure you just get the ropes for the actual hammock out of the way when putting the poles together, and then you're done. Now we're gonna hang it, but believe it or not, Lawson does not include actual ropes. I mean, is that like an insurance thing? Like, why would you not include ropes with a hammock? I guess I'm going to the store then. And we're back. Okay, now we can continue. Now figuring out the right height just took a little while because you have to do one side first and then the other and kind of see where it lands, which I think is true for all hammocks. Remember, you're going to be sleeping in this, so you want it to be a little more taut. If you can't tell from my face, you can see how much I really trust the knots I just tied. Oh, no, it's good. All right, here we go. I mean, am I the only one that gets a little freaked out when you first sit in a hammock? Like you might have done something wrong? All right, whatever. Moving on. You have 2 sets of poles. And these poles give the hammock like a dome shape, so it's not like you're sleeping in a deflated balloon. And you can see there's a sleeve right there that you're gonna pass that pole through. And then it's got 2 grommets it hooks into. Then you just repeat the same thing on the other side. And then before you know it, you're done. That's it, at least with that part. Then you're gonna take these elastic hooks, and these are what's gonna hold up each side of those poles. One thing you notice is that the elastic is a little stretchy, so I put a couple knots in it to make it a little more taut. And that's pretty much the basic idea for setting up just the tent hammock. And now it's time to test it out. And you'll see right away when I get in the tent, it's a little saggy, which means I need to adjust those ropes so I can make it a little more taut. Here I am just testing to see if it will flip over, but it holds its shape pretty well, I gotta say. And here you can see how much I need to make the tent a little more taut. Beyond my amateur tent hanging, I gotta say this thing's pretty cool. It's got a lot of room for one person. It comes with a couple features too, like these 2 pockets. I mean, you know, for you to hold a knife in if a bear attacks, or this ring to clip a light to, you know, whatever. Now we can move on to the fly, or, you know, the bear shield, whatever you want to call it. And you can figure out which way to put this fly on by the label of Lawson right there. You match those labels up, the one on the tent with the one on the fly. Now, when you connect the fly to the actual tent, it's a little hard to understand. I think you put it right here, and then you wrap these around and connect to the cords underneath. It seems right, but if I'm doing something wrong, people, let me know. And then on the sides, you put these loops around the outside of these little poles. Next, you just stick these 2 Velcro tabs together on each side and you're done. Now to get inside with the fly on it. I know, it's much different, can't you tell? It's still pretty easy to get into, and if you can't tell already, I still haven't adjusted those straps, okay? I know they need to be adjusted so my butt is not hanging down like that. Looks like the stitching's pretty good too for keeping it pretty waterproof when you have the fly on. There are these grommets on the fly itself that look like they're for guidelines, but there's no guidelines in the actual bag, so that kind of sucks. In the camping hammock world, this is one of the cheapest ones you can get, so I give a little leeway for what's actually included in the bag. Overall, I do feel some of the parts are pretty cheap and they might break over time. I do think the tent is pretty easy to set up, but I don't think the process is very intuitive. So that's the Lawson Hammock tent. I think it's a pretty cool tent in the end. I mean, these zippers are pretty cool. No, honestly, it is a good tent. I just think it's a little flimsy. I will say it was very comfortable to sleep in. And if you have the right spot to set up a hammock tent, do it. Because overall, it is a lot less work than traditional tents. And if you're like me and you just need to get in a hammock, this works out pretty well. Okay, I'm the Glam Guru. Thanks for watching. Please follow, subscribe, all the good things. Take care.